It sounds like an interesting exhibition.
그러게요. 그리고 또 여기 봐봐요. 저기 밑줄 좀 쳐주세요. 최초로 열리는.
The first.
저 이런 거 좋아하잖아요. 최초, 처음 이런 거.
I know.
지금 한국에서 최초로 열리는 르완다 아티스트들의 전시회에 저희 디플로맷 톡스가 지금 초대받은 거잖아요.
So what do we do now?
뭘 어떻게 해요? 가야죠.
We have to go.
이번 기회에 전시회 관람도 하고 대사님 인터뷰도 하면 되겠네요.
Oh, when the ambassador came for our Chuseok special, didn't he say that cultural exchange was really important?
I think I'll start with a cultural bridge. It's very important that people know each other. We want as many Koreans as possible to come visit Rwanda.
맞아요. 또 그리고 우리 대사님한테 서약서도 받았잖아요. 그러니까 지금 여기 보시면 또 출연하겠다고 약속을 하셨고 저기 이제 도장을 뻥 찍어주셨잖아요.
That's right.
그럼 지금 바로 간다고 답장 보냅시다. That is how we requested an interview with the Rwandan ambassador. Of course, the ambassador's response was yes.
안녕하세요 여러분, 대사관 전문 PD 나누리입니다. 오늘 저희가 다리가 되어서 연결해 볼 나라는 바로 다들 아시죠? 르완다입니다. 르완다! 와! 르완다예요 오늘. 대사님이랑 그 전시회장에서 만나서 전시회도 같이 좀 둘러보고 그리고 이제 한국과 르완다 사이에 대해서 좀 더 깊이 있는 이야기를 나눠보려고 합니다. 그러면은 가봅시다 바로. 오늘은 대사관이 아니라 전시회장으로 갑니다. 여기는 소월로예요, 소월로. 길이 참 예쁘죠? 나중에 한국에 오시게 된다면은 남산과 소월로를 꼭 한번 들러보시길 바랍니다.
Sowarlo is a great path for a walk when the weather is nice. It is also a place I really like. If you come to Seoul, be sure to visit.
오, 여기에요. 여기 보시면 전시회 제목이 아프리칸오로라. 들어오세요. 오, 대사님, Ambassador.
Hello,
Hi.
Nuri. How are you? 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요. Thank you for inviting me to this gallery.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. We have 8 artists that came from Kigali, and they have displayed their art on different floors. Yeah, and we are very excited about it.
I've heard this is the first time you brought Rwandan artists to Korea. Is that
Very
right?
much, very much. It's the very first time, but definitely not the last. You'll see more artists coming.
Oh, really?
More artists coming. We're really excited to create this bridge between Rwanda and Korea. This display is by an artist called Strong. Then you have here Miriam, who is fascinated by long necks. That's what she mentioned to us, if I remember well.
That is right. Interestingly, all of the people in her works had long necks. What would you say the characteristic of Rwandan art these days?
There's a diversity of types. As you can see, Strong Kaisir's painting and Miriam are totally different. Here you have more people. Over there, Strong is insisting more on colors, and it looks like each artist is trying to express what they have. So it's very different. It's very different. some are already sold, others are booked, they're reserved for purchasing. Once the exhibition is over, the owners will come and close on the purchase. Yeah.
Rwandan artworks must have resonated with Koreans too.
If you look at this
This is very different style.
completely.
Oh, I like he uses some of the sentences here.
Yes.
It was interesting to see the artist's message written in text in the works. Oh, this is very different style.
It's a different style, and they all have something in the background that is inspiring them.
I really like his paintings.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're beautiful.
Yes.
They're really beautiful.
It is very simple, but very powerful as well, isn't it?
The artist mentioned that everyone's face is inspired by an entire history behind. So that's what he's trying to portray with his paintings. All the pictures that you have in front of the face is the background that inspires a person to be what they are. That's what I remember the story. If I remember well, the story that he told us. But I think his art is really beautiful also.
Looking at these artworks, don't you want to hear from the artist directly? So, I've met with some of them personally. The day I visited the exhibition after the interview was the day the exhibition opening party was held. This is the first artist we will meet today.
I choose this because this is the one I'm in for now.
So, where did you get inspiration?
I correct inspiration for everything around me. Inside, it's about my feelings, it's about my emotion. Outside, it's everything I see everywhere, different things from in the environment. That's how I correct inspiration. All those things, combination of those things, that the one I put on the canvas.
Tell me about your artwork, this one.
Yes. This art piece is entitled Understood. My artwork reflects on emotions, and I think that before I can do anything or I can be productive, I have to feel good, within me, or I have to be okay. And sometimes mental health or even the well-being is a taboo subject in some communities, but the goal is to break that taboo. So that people can support each other in the community, so that everyone can feel good or better. Yes.
I like how you mix the bright color and dark color, so it can get a contrast image from your painting, maybe complex emotions or something like that.
Yeah. It's first of all the yellow or the bright colors, means the light, the beautiful thing. So it's from the dark to the light, because we are healing, because we are, being together as a community. So it's from the dark to the light. Yes.
I really like this part of your painting.
Thank you.
I was also able to meet the two key players who made this exhibition possible, curators from Korea and Rwanda.
It was a beautiful dream that we had to create bridges, from places so far away, but at the same time that are so similar in so many ways. Maybe not the same history, but a history of conflict and division within the people, and how art is unique in a way that it helps mending and showing the resilience of a people and the victory of our humanity in the end.
르완다 작가들 작품이 처음
네.
전시되는 거라고 들었는데
맞습니다. 예, 아시아에서도 저들도 아시아에서 첫 방문이고요.
그 미술 또 예술계에 종사하고 계시는 분으로서 이렇게 한국과 다른 나라를 이렇게 좀 가깝게 연결시키는데 예술이 도움이 될 수 있다고 보시는지.
전 세계 어디든 아티스트는 권리와 채무가 있습니다. 그 권리라 한다면은 무조건 뭐랄까요, 사람이 만들어놓은 질서라든지 규제라든지 법을 넘나들어야만 합니다. 반대로 권리라고 한다면은 그것들을 해낼 수 있게끔, 아티스트가 그런 것들을 해낼 수 있게끔 국가는 그걸 보장해줘야 됩니다. 그런 의미를 기반으로 했을 때 나라와 나라와 아티스트의 교류는 그들이 가지고 있는 어떤 그 국가의 숙제라고 할까요? 그런 어려움이나 힘듦들, 갈등들 그런 것들을 자연스럽게 드러내고 또 보편적인 것들을 찾을 수 있고 그런 공통점이겠죠. 또 단독적인 것, 서로의 차별화된 것들, 다른 점도 찾을 수 있을 겁니다. 그런 아트의 장에서 그 층위에서 서로 교류하다 보면 우리가 단순하게 어렵게만 바라보던 문제를 풀 수 있는 좋은 실마리를 얻을 수도 있습니다. 그런 의미에서 아티스트는 서로 교류해야만 되고요.
The image I had of the country in the past was different from the Rwanda I saw through the works of contemporary artists. While I could feel its unique traditions and culture, I also felt the common concerns and thoughts that all of us have. Seeing these works was an opportunity for me to break down some of the prejudices I had about Rwanda.
How did you like the exhibition by Rwandan artists? Now, we're going to have a more in-depth conversation about Korea-Rwanda relations with the ambassador. Please focus.
Shall we start?
Sure.
Okay. Last time we met, you put emphasis on the cultural cooperation. Why do you think culture is so important?
That's a very good question. You know, Rwanda is really focused today on social investments, meaning education, health, but also business. And because Rwanda put their people in front, and Korea does the same, I think we have a lot of similarities. And if we can get more Korean to visit Rwanda and more Rwandan to visit Korea, I think there'll be an exchange that is going to be very rich. And culture is one of the ways of bringing that bridge together. What we hope to achieve with cultural diplomacy is to get the people to know each other more, get more Korean to visit Rwanda, and automatically I think there will be strong business links. Everything starts first by the human contact. Rwanda has so much to offer, from a safari on the east. On the northeast, we have gorilla. We have the largest population of gorillas on the continent, in the world. We have a great doing business environment. We are number 2 right now in doing business, World Bank ranking on the continent. So we are really open for tourism, open for business, but I would love to have this cultural bridge so more Koreans can come and discover and leverage Rwanda to get on the continent. Yeah.
Last time we met, you mentioned about the similar histories between Korea and Rwanda. Korea, we had Korean War, and I know that Rwanda had the tragedy called the genocide against the Tutsi.
Although the historical, social, and political reasons may differ, Korea and Rwanda both share a painful history of experiencing war. At 4 a.m. on June 25, 1950, the Korean War broke out with North Korea's invasion of the South. Nearly 140,000 South Korean soldiers lost their lives during the Korean War, while more than 450,000 were injured. Among civilians, around 990,000 were killed, massacred, injured, captured, or declared missing. On the North Korean side, more than 520,000 soldiers and 280,000 civilians were killed, while 800,000 were declared missing. From 1990 to 1994, Rwanda experienced 2 civil wars between the Rwandan Armed Forces, or RAF, representing the Hutu-led government, and the forces of the Tutsi-backed Rwandan Patriotic Front, or RPF, comprised of Tutsis born in exile and based in Uganda. Conflict between the Hutus, who make up 85% of Rwanda's population, and the Tutsi, who make up around 14%, was what led to the civil war that lasted for nearly 4 years. The conflict arose due to discriminatory policies against the two ethnic groups during Belgium's colonial rule of Rwanda, and this conflict continued even after independence. During the Second Civil War, on April 6, 1994, the presidents of Rwanda and Burundi, who were both Hutus, died in a plane crash, which ultimately led to genocide. On April 7th, a Rwandan media outlet attributed the plane crash to the RPF and a contingent of UN soldiers. It incited the public to eliminate what it called the Tutsi cockroaches. That day, Rwanda's prime minister and 10 Belgian peacekeepers assigned to protect her were murdered by Rwandan government soldiers. Afterwards, the army, Presidential Guard, and extreme Hutu militias massacred Tutsi civilians until the RDF took military control of the entire country. According to the UN, more than 1 million people died in Rwanda over a period of 100 days from April 6th to mid-July. When the RDF captured the capital, Kigali, due to a Tutsi counterattack, Hutu civilians fled for fear of retaliation from the rebels. At that time, 3 million Hutu refugees emerged during the evacuation.
What kind of influence do you think Rwanda's modern history had on its art?
There's two parts of it. Of course, as a people, you always have your history that is influencing what you're doing. But I think between Korea and Rwanda, there's a strong spirit of revival. There's a strong spirit of having passed those challenging moments. And we can see it in the art. You can see that all the arts are really showcasing hope, life, displaying normal daily lives. So it's really good to see that we have passed that. And we're now at the next stage where we want to share with the world what Rwanda has to offer. And I see that also in Korea. There's a lot that the K-pop culture is offering to the entire world. It's really amazing. You see that bridge that Korea has done with the world, forgetting the past and moving now forward to a global culture that is everywhere.
So this year we are celebrating the 60 years of bilateral relationship between Korea and Rwanda.
That's right. 2023 marks the 60th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between South Korea and Rwanda. The two sides established formal diplomatic relations in March 1963, the year after Rwanda gained independence from Belgium. 1972 saw the opening of the Embassy of the Republic of Korea in Rwanda. However, the South Korean embassy in Rwanda withdrew when diplomatic relations between the two countries were suspended in May 1975. It reopened 12 years later in 1987, but was closed in 1990 due to Rwanda's unstable situation. Afterwards, the Rwandan embassy in Seoul opened for the first time in March 2009, and the South Korean embassy in Kigali was reopened in May 2011. Since 2005, the two countries have signed agreements in various fields, including economy, technology, investment, and development cooperation. Bilateral exchanges of high-level personnel also became more active. Korean political, economic, and diplomatic figures visited Rwanda, and Rwandan President Paul Kagame visited Korea 3 times during his term.
If you look at Rwanda and Korea today, we are partners. The countries have a strong government-to-government relationship. Now we need to expand that. It's like a tree that is ready to flower. We need to expand that relationship to more engagement in terms of business, more engagement in terms of culture, more engagement in terms of exchanges, different exchanges. So 60 years for countries, it's enough time to move the relationship to the next level. And I think we are now at that point where we are ready as a country now to exchange in terms of trade, in terms of people visiting each other. There's several Rwandans that we want to bring here to discover, to learn, and we also want Korean to visit. So it's really exciting time for us. And this coming year with the African Korea Summit coming, we want to bring in more of the arts.
So next year, you just mentioned we will have the first Korea-Africa Summit.
The first Korea-Africa Summit is scheduled for May 2024. Leaders of 54 African countries and the heads of relevant international organizations are expected to attend this meeting.
So what change will the summit bring?
It's a great initiative. First is the first summit meeting at presidential level between Africa and Korea. And Korea has done an exceptional development path which a lot of countries in Africa should emulate. If you look at Korea back in the 60s, it had similar GDP as the low-income countries in the world. But today, Korea is an OECD country, ODA provider. And these are ambitions that I think on the continent we have and can achieve if we learn from Korea and adapt it to our own realities. Rwanda, for one, is a country that has had tremendous growth. We went from the ashes during the post-1994 with the genocide against the Tutsis, and have grown since 2000 about 8% per year, and we want to accelerate that.
Rwanda, located in Central Eastern Africa, has about 13 million people living in a land area about 1/4 the size of South Korea. Although it is a small, landlocked country with a small economy and small population, Rwanda's economy is growing rapidly. Rwanda, where about 60% of the population is under the age of 24, is a young, dynamic country with great development potential. Rwanda's economy showed an average annual growth rate of 7.2% from 2010 to 2019. Although there was a brief slowdown due to the COVID-19 pandemic, Rwanda's GDP growth rate rose again in 2021 and 2022. Rwanda's per capita gross national income, which in 2003 was just $230, increased to $784 as of 2021. In addition, according to the World Bank Doing Business report released in 2020, Rwanda received a positive evaluation in the economic field, ranking 38th among 190 countries in the world and second among African countries in terms of doing business. The Rwandan government secured transparency within the government and maximized efficiency in order to receive greater foreign direct investment and official development assistance. The One Stop Center, operated by the Rwanda Development Board, is open to investors as long as they invest more than a certain amount. The center has the ability to process all business-related issues within 48 hours. Additionally, investors receive various benefits from the government, such as tax deductions and exemptions. Meanwhile, Rwanda is promoting economic development based on its Vision 2050 strategy, which aims to make Rwanda a middle-income country by 2035 and transform its economic structure into a service-based economy by 2050.
We have a global access to different markets. We produce items that are valuable to the continent and to the world. So we believe that that summit is going to take the relationship at the next level for Rwanda. It's going to help sink in some of the initiatives that have been started and move them to the next level.
So Korea and Rwanda, how do we complement each other?
First of all, we have very similar backgrounds. We are investing mainly in our population. We're investing in education, in health, in services. Rwanda has a strong online push. We're one of the ICT powerhouse on the continent.
When it comes to the ICT industry, Rwanda has several firsts. In 2016, it began drone parcel services across the country for the first time in the world and established the first nationwide LTE network in Africa in 2018. In 2019, Rwanda's Mara Group began selling the African continent's first smartphone.
So Rwanda and Korea have those similarities, and leveraging those similarities, we would like to take that to the next level where we could now create Africa LG, Africa Samsung, Africa Hyundai, in partnership with Korea, and I think it's possible. It's possible. It's a matter of being able to merge the ambitions of businesses, get business people to know each other better, and it's really easily achievable.
So you mentioned you want to increase our economic cooperation. So are you interested in specific industries in Korea?
Everyone would expect me to say ICT, but I would say construction. Because today construction is mixed with ICT. There's smart buildings. So modern facilities, we want to see more construction companies from Korea in Rwanda, bringing in all the expertise. We have a great opportunity for low-cost, affordable homes. The Rwandan government is planning on building many homes. The second opportunity is biotech. Of course, there's always a mix of ICT, but on all the vaccines, some of the medicine, Korea is really advanced in biotech. We're also looking at agriculture to see how we can improve our production and on all the value chain, from the seeds all the way to the production. We are today exporting a lot of our agricultural products to different markets in the world. We really want to learn from how Korea has grown their agriculture using technology and move that forward. And of course, back to ICT, but ICT has an enabler in the different sector with the different latest trends like artificial intelligence, machine learning, and cybersecurity.
Mm-hmm. So as an ambassador to Korea, what would you like to achieve here in Korea during your time?
I would love to see more tourism from Korea going to Rwanda. And I take this opportunity to invite Arirang to visit as well. We have so many things to offer. That's one. Two, I think what we need to do is to have several business trips. If we're able to achieve that exchange at the beginning, because the government-to-government relationship is very good, the next step now is to see how we can increase the different culture exchanges, trade exchanges, and simple visit, tourism on both sides. I don't think there's enough also Rwandan visiting Korea. We want to see with our airline, Rwanda Air. We already have an agreement for Rwanda Air to land in Seoul. We now need to find out what does it require to increase the business so that Rwanda Air can land in Seoul. Right now it's only one airline from Africa that is coming. We want to see if Rwanda Air can be the second one.
When I heard of Rwanda, a country in Africa, 1994 genocide against the Tutsi, a country with beautiful nature are the thoughts that immediately come to mind. However, through this exhibition and the interview with the ambassador, I found out a whole new world about Rwanda. Using today's episode of Diplomat Talks as a bridge, I hope people will learn a lot of new things about Rwanda.
Now Rwanda came to Korea, and now we are sharing our art together today at this night.
People loved it. I have my nieces, they love South Korea a lot because they watch movies from this country.
So I have one more reason to visit Korea.
Absolutely. I think you should really do it. We're going to remind you. We're going to remind you.